cheap solar power, batteries, and electric vehicles are changing the transport and energy sector as we know. I bring in guests to this podcast who will help you with their ideas to navigate this energy transition. By the way, this episode is also available as a video on our YouTube channel. Just search Energypreneurs. Thank you for joining.
Good morning. I am in Mongolia inside a cave and I'm making some interesting observation. This is the cave inside Mongolia. You can see that's what the openings are. And this is a very modern cave. It has all the facilities, all the comforts. But as I was coming to this cave yesterday, I started making an observation about Mongolia's power sector, especially the electric vehicle sector. The interesting part is, last time I came in Mongolia, I was told Mongolia has about 250,000 of these hybrid cars, Toyotas predominantly. I think the number may be even more. I drove through UB yesterday. Almost every alternate car was a Toyota Prius. And it's extraordinary. Then I looked up. These are the Toyota Prius that came with lithium-ion batteries. Of course, it was not the small one that had nickel metal hydride batteries at the beginning. These are slightly larger, between 4 and 8, maybe even 16 kilowatt-hour lithium batteries. But the interesting part of it, none of them are plug-in hybrids. So all these electric vehicles in Mongolia are basically using power from the grid. And this country, I'll just show around. I'll just get out of the gate. This country, where the sun is, if we look around, this is empty. It's barren. All this electricity that the sun can generate can and should run this electric car. And that's where it will be really a successful thing, I would say. So that's why I found it's a bit odd that people are driving everywhere these hybrid cars, not plug-in hybrid. So I've been wondering, is there a way to convert these cars potentially into hybrid, or rather a plug-in hybrid, so that they can be even interesting? It's not that cold, maybe a few degrees outside. It's not snow yet. So these caves are running power from somewhere central, definitely not cold. But eventually, the remote area, this is a touristic area, so it's not using coal others. We all have access to solar. I have talked to people who are talking that you can use induction top with solar, and all of them could run on electric sort of vehicles, plug-in hybrids. I think this is a missed opportunity. A country that is running on 25% of the cars are running with electric motors, because that's what hybrid cars are. They're not pure electric, but they're running on electric motors. So the traffic jam that we saw in Ulaanbaatar city yesterday, of course, people were saving fuel, because when you're sitting on a hybrid car, if you're not running heating or cooling, it's very, very efficient. Of course, it's electric motor, nothing moves. It took us hour and a half during peak time to move about 5 kilometers, I would say. So obviously, this is very, very efficient. But the bigger picture remains, why not solar? Why can't each of these places microgrid and run electric vehicles, centralized charging stations? That would be really ideal. Because I've seen that in Central Australia, where everything in the microgrids in the world. few megawatt here, few megawatt there, and all the mining towns in Australia are also running as a microgrid. So I think there are a lot that can be copied here, or same idea that can be used. While in Australia, it's already happening. I'm sure it's happening in many places, but this little tourist village, 50 odd gears, and even if each of them consuming 2-3 kilowatt, that's almost significant 200 kilowatt, 300 kilowatt system, the battery pack. Yeah, this can't be just using a very simple technology, which is my laptop on my hand to show around. So this could be a solution for these motor related. I'm going to share some clips that I have taken yesterday in UB, showing all the different kind of situation where Toyota Prius are dominating better great size.
Ulaanbaatar has many Toyota Prius. This is one of them I was recording yesterday as I was driving through. The country is full of them. It's quite fascinating to see this lovely city flooded with Prius from this corner to that corner. Here again, we are driving through the city. You see the car. Look, these are all hybrids. These are all hybrid cars everywhere. Everywhere they will have a hybrid car. Here is another hybrid car driving through the capital city of Ulaanbaatar. You don't have to trust my numbers. Look at the number of hybrid cars. This may be one single concentration of large number of hybrid cars in the world. These are all, as I mentioned in the morning, these are all plug-in hybrid, I wish. No, they are not. These are all old hybrids. Their electricity is being generated by this, I think, about 2-liter engine that has built in, and that engine generates the electricity. And then, of course, they make a lot of savings. The car is very efficient and it suits the Mongolian weather. I was reading that a startup in the morning, even in the harsh winters of minus 20 or 30 degrees centigrade, it works out okay. So people are loving them. They're very cheap. $7,000 to $12,000. That's the price range. The price is also cheap because there's no tax on electric vehicles, and hybrid is part of it. So a lot of electric vehicles straight coming from Japan after their first use coming to Mongolia, Ulaanbaatar, another one, hybrids. Lovely to see all these electric vehicles that Mongolia has, all those electric vehicles. This is a stunning scene to see everywhere we go through. Electric vehicle, electric scooters, ideal. The quiet revolution that has happened in Mongolia, slowly taken over by electric vehicle. Only policy thing that the government did is provided incentive. Now, I was thinking initially, the old nickel metal hybrids, the batteries could have been converted into lithium-ion batteries, but of course, Toyota introduced lithium-ion batteries. So all of these, or most of these hybrids have lithium-ion batteries, and they're very cheap to replace these batteries. That's what I was also reading. So this is a model that can be copied in many countries, especially in the Pacific and others, because Toyota Prius is a very simple car. And if they are used well, especially as a plug-in hybrid, I'm sure this can be converted to plug-in hybrids. This could be quite nice. Look, hybrids everywhere. If you go through the city, hybrids everywhere. I didn't realize this revolution has happened quietly, because last time I was here, I saw a lot of hybrids, but not to this many. So if we look at the policy perspective from other countries, these cars are so cheap and batteries are becoming cheaper. I guess this 10 kilowatt hour, 14, 16 kilowatt hour battery could be replaced with a couple of $1,000, if not today, tomorrow or day after. Now, once that is happening, this car can last forever. Maybe the internal combustion engine part of the car will die, but the hybrid will continue, the electric part of it, because it's a very simple car. So those who are just listening to me today, sorry, maybe you can look at the YouTube channel to see the video, because it's quite powerful to be able to see this country with hybrid cars. Again, then we went to one of the touristy place, the mighty Genghis Khan, the great leader of this region, his statue. But if you look around again, people came here with their hybrid cars, Toyota Prius, everywhere. And this has become a Volkswagen Beetle of the old for Mongolia today. Everywhere you look around is Toyota Prius, another Prius. I don't know. I would like to hear from you. There might be in countries where someone has taken up a project to convert this sort of normal hybrids into plug-in hybrid. Okay, I also took a photo with the mighty Chengiz statue on the top. But you look around, there's so many space where solar can go in. Look at the gears in those distance. They are all running, will run cold during winter. So whoever listening, maybe this is a fantastic opportunity to turn Mongolia into an solar capital of the world, because there's a lots of sun.
Just imagine if we had solar everywhere. This country has tons of land for it. And there were home batteries. Each of these care can tiny 50 kilowatt hour battery that should be more than enough. Maybe in the harsh of winter when it gets minus 38 degrees, things could be quite different. But still, there would be sun. I'd like to hear from experts who knows way more about Mongolia than I do. What may be possible? Because I definitely see this country has some other form of technology alternative than just relying on coal. There are lots of wind here. Mongolia has a lot of wind projects we saw as we are driving in. So there are a lot of potential. It's already way ahead than many in terms of electric vehicle adoption. Yes, I see another hybrid just passing at a very high speed. But putting that together, all this livestock, all these vast areas need people. So robotics will be another interesting area that will change life in Mongolia, maybe in the harsh winter of minus 30, 40 degrees, there could be robots can do a lot of things that humans humanly cannot because it's cold. So with a lot of robots, new technology, electric vehicle, maybe drone delivery in these remote places. Because if I order food here, I don't think it exists. But I'm sure there are restaurants far out, 10, 20 kilometers, who can send in something with drone. A lot of things can be thought about Mongolia. I really get fascinated every time I came here. Such a resourceful country, vast distances, and yeah, dinosaurs walked through this land, and today we are here with lots of new technologies. So there must be very different potential.
So, what do I get in the conclusion for Mongolia? Yes, there are a lot of hybrid cars, and the numbers will keep on growing. As the batteries are coming cheaper, maybe the opportunity will be more towards all electric because the government does have plans. And I also checked the replacement batteries are quite cheap. So convert them into all electric plug-in hybrid will be a very good option. Now, if we look at the other option, because these cars are coming very cheap, they're very well established. Maybe this will keep on continuing because people trust the product. That Toyota is such a nice car. And it has been well established that Mongolian harsh weather cannot really dishearten people with electric cars because this is still working very well. So as this trend continues, I guess the most important part will be to see how electric vehicles get mainstream, especially the part I think will be very important to have them charged by solar. As we drove through different part of Mongolia, it's a very remote area. You see one gear, nothing else. It doesn't make sense, these people, to go back and get filled up their cars with gasoline that comes from far, far away. And some of the gear I also saw that they are using LNGs. That also doesn't make much sense because solar is so cheap. Sun is everywhere. Maybe a bit difficulty winter time, but they also have a lot of wind energy. And of course, I see Mongolia going into massive scale batteries, home batteries, gear batteries, and maybe eventually V2G because our ownership is pretty high, more than 1 million car running in a population of just about 5 million. Family sizes are quite large. So I would say car penetration may be very, very high in Mongolia, if not every household has a car. Apart from the people dwelling in apartments, the gear areas, these are really not necessary for V2G, but definitely V2H. Because these large batteries, right now the largest Prius has about 16 kilowatt hour, which is less than a third, if not maybe 25% of a typical all-electric car batteries. So two of those things happen. Either all cars become electric or batteries become so compact that the same size can fit into larger batteries. So it would be eventually home batteries charged by solar and wind. And I hope that's what happens in Mongolia. And I was amazed by the energy efficiency effort. More and more, even in the ger-based estate, it had triple glazed windows. Although these are modern version of the gear concept. Anyway, thank you for listening.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Energypreneurs.
If you enjoy this, don't forget the full video is on YouTube. Just search Energypreneurs.
Thank you. See you next time.